All right, so welcome back to the third session of today. And Gidin Stargila had already discussed with you the process for writing, right? The process of writing. And I'm here to help you with the application part that of the writing process. Okay, so first just look at the slide. Okay. So, the writing process, okay. So, Gidin Sargela had already discussed with you pre-writing, that is getting ready to write, collecting ideas, and this is the planning stage, okay. Then writing or drafting, so putting your ideas on paper, this is the second step, and revising, making changes to improve your writing. And then we have editing and proofreading, that is looking for and fixing errors. And then we have rewriting and then publishing. So, that is sharing with others. So, it's a quick review of the writing process that you learned in the second session. So, these are the steps that one needs to follow when you are writing something. Okay, be it a paragraph, be it a story, be it an essay or any article or letter or whatever you are writing. Okay. And so, what two questions that you need to keep in mind. Okay, why am I writing this? Who am I writing this for? Okay, so these are the two questions that you need to keep in your mind when you are writing. So why are you writing the piece of writing, right? Whatever you are writing, why are you writing? And then for whom you are writing this, means your audience, the readers. Okay, so a sense of audience and purpose is important. Okay. So, I will not go in detail with this, but we will quickly go for the application part. Okay. So, let us follow the writing process, and the first is pre-writing. Okay. And for pre-writing, so what you need to think is, okay, I am going to write something, but on what? So, you need to have a topic. Okay. So, choose a topic for writing. So, how are you going to choose a topic for writing? Okay. Slide. Okay. So, meanwhile, I will quickly go and grab the markers. Okay, so choose a topic for writing. So, what should I write? Okay, about topics. Now, what we need to do is, now we need to think. Okay, what should I write about? Shall I write about? Okay, I'm just thinking about topic. Okay, topic ideas. Okay, what am I going to write on? Shall I write on how I spent my Sunday, or it should be about a special lunch, or should it be about what should I write about? Okay, yesterday night. So, like this, you can think about as many topics that you can think of. Okay. So, keeping time frame in mind, I am not going to write more. So, we will stick to these three first. Okay. How I spent my Sunday, a special lunch, yesterday night. Now, what you need to do is you think about, okay, on which topic can I write more? Do I have more points or ideas or things to write about? Is there anything special about how you spent your Sunday? What else can you tell about your special lunch, yesterday night? What you need to think is, you need to think about your audience, your reader. Will your reader be interested in knowing how you spent your Sunday? Okay, that is one question you need to keep in mind. Or will anyone bother to know what was your special lunch? Okay. And then keeping all these things in mind, I am switching to this topic. Okay, yesterday night. Now what is different? Okay, about what is special about yesterday's night, right? What is something that is different? Okay, so I'll choose this topic, yesterday night. Got it? So what you need to do is, when you are thinking of writing something, you need to think about all the ideas that come to your mind. Okay, this, shall I write about this, this, and then you choose, okay, which one looks more interesting to you, where you can write more, explain more. So keeping that in mind, you can choose the topic. Okay, so now that we have the topic, yesterday night, right? So let's begin. What shall we begin with? Pre-writing. Okay, now we have to follow the steps, isn't it? The writing process. So pre-writing. Now even for pre-writing, there are different strategies. Okay, the strategies for pre-writing. So which strategy should I adopt? Okay, there are different strategies for pre-writing. So planning, the planning stage, how you are going to plan, what are you going to write, how are you going to do that. So there are a lot of strategies. So the planning stage. So sometimes, okay, this also becomes a question for you, how you are going to decide which strategy you are going to choose. Okay, let's look at this. Some of the strategies. Okay, look at the slide. Strategies for pre-writing. Okay, there's listing or brainstorming. This usually you have this, your teachers do that in class, isn't it? Brainstorming, then you have clustering, free writing, looping, asking the 5 WH questions that Gideon Thargela already discussed with you. This who, what, where, when, why, and how. Okay, so free writing also is a wonderful strategy where you need to keep writing non-stop, okay, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, until you get the main idea from where you can start your writing. Okay, so today the strategy that we are going to use is, look at the slide, out of the different strategies, I'm going to use clustering. Okay, clustering, which means mind mapping or idea mapping. So we are going to do that. Okay, I'll show you how we can do or follow this mind mapping. Okay, so I'll rub this off as we have now the topic ideas. So the topic that we decided, okay, so please make sure that I'm not the only one doing it. I assume you are all with me. We are together going to make a composition, a short writing or written piece following the writing process. Okay, all right. So our topic was, yes, yesterday night. Okay. Yesterday night. So this is the topic. Okay, this is your topic for writing. So you keep this topic as the main focus, and what you need to do is you have to build your ideas around this. Okay, you have to map. Okay, idea mapping or mind mapping. So yesterday night. Okay, now before you write, what are you going to write about your yesterday? Okay, you have to describe yesterday night, isn't it? So what is the thing that comes to your mind first when you write the topic yesterday night? Okay, so whatever I'm writing here is based on the event that happened. Okay, so I'm just narrating it. Okay, so yesterday night it was okay, so one of the points that came to my mind yesterday night was dark and scary. Okay, the first point that came to my mind is dark and scary. Okay, now I got this right. Now, why? Okay, the question is, why yesterday's night was dark and scary? Okay, so then we need to build on huge storm. Okay, and then what else? Power outage. Okay, so it was dark, it was a dark weather as well. Okay, so huge storm, power outage. So just connecting, I'm just trying to map. Okay, yesterday night, dark and scary because there was a huge storm and power outage, right? And now what else you can think? This is the planning stage in which you are going to think about all the possible points that you are going to list down when you write your first draft. So huge storm, and then what happened? Okay, there's power outage, and what else was there? You hear, what did you hear? What did you see there? So heard of? Okay. Okay, I heard, okay, this window panes breaking, things falling. Okay, what else? Head. Branches breaking. Okay. So, okay. So, I have a sort of like some points, isn't it? This is a strategy for pre-writing, clustering, mind mapping. So, yesterday night, dark and scary, huge storm, power outage, window panes breaking, things falling, branches breaking, and there may be many more. Okay. So, since we are not going to write a very long composition because we don't have that much time. So, what we are going to do now is, next, okay, now let's write our first draft. Okay, now that we have, okay, now that we have the a kind of like Gideon Saragella had discussed about graphic organizer, we have a kind of this where you can see. So, based on this, so whenever you write, please keep that with you. Okay. So, in the rough notebook, whatever you have written, okay, from the beginning where you chose your topic, and then from the topic how you are going to map the different points. So, you have to keep that in front of you so that you can begin your first draft. Okay. So, I am going to like write our first draft. Okay, how should I begin? Okay. Let's write. It was around 10. I'm trying to visualize and remember all the things that happened. Okay, it was around 10 p.m. When I okay, I'll just read along with this. It was around 10 p.m. when I hear. Okay, so I'm quickly writing this. Okay, so as Gideon Saragella already told you, when you do your first drafting, you don't need to worry about your grammar, grammatical errors or sentence type or structure. You don't need to worry. Just keep on writing everything that comes to your mind. Okay, because we have the next step of revising and then editing. Okay, someone was. Yeah, I heard someone shouting. I didn't understand why. It was raining too. Okay, and what happened? There was power outage. It frightened my daughter even more. We managed to pick up the clothes and close the windows. At around 11 p.m. we went to sleep. I was thinking of people living in tent house in slum areas. I was worried about them. Okay, now let us say this is the first draft. Okay, so now what you need to do, okay, we have our first draft. Okay, now that we have our first draft ready, we need to revise the same. This is the next step. Okay, so how should we revise? Okay, look at the slide. So the revising idea. Okay, so read to yourself first. Okay, so right now I am doing online teaching, so I can only read it myself. Then when you are in class or at home, you can share with someone else. Okay, share with a classmate or a friend. Okay, and when you revise, what are the things that you need to keep in mind? Okay, that's a revising checklist. So did we really tell what we wanted to? Okay, there are a lot of things that is in your mind. Okay, you wanted to tell that, you wanted to express that. So did we really tell what we wanted to? And will our audience understand whatever you have written, whatever you have expressed? Will your audience, that is the reader, will they be able to understand? Or do we need to add, cut or change something to improve our writing? So when you read the draft, so you might notice that there needs to be like added something. There's somewhere where you need to add something, or where something is written which is actually not required, you need to cut it down, or you want to change something, right? And next is, have we arranged our ideas and points in proper order? So have we arranged all the ideas and points in proper order? So now that we have, so before we do that, so now that we have the revising checklist and the revising ideas, so let's do the revising part. So the first thing is, how are we going to do the revising part? Okay, is of course read, right? So you can read this as I read. It was around 10 p.m. when I hear strange sound. There's something wrong here, isn't it? What did I notice here? There's something wrong here. Why? Because the tense here, the verb. Okay, so we need to change this. Okay, I ran out to see. Okay, someone was shouting free Tibet. So what can we do? Okay, this part also needs some sort of changes. I didn't understand why. Okay, my husband was parking the scooter somewhere else. Which scooter? Okay, we can look at the use of article as well. My husband was parking the scooter. So there's a definite article used here. Okay. I heard window panes breaking. It was raining too. So what we need to do here? I heard the window panes breaking. It was raining too. We don't see a connection here. So we need to shift this sentence somewhere else, isn't it? So, okay, let's mark this. It was raining too, so that we can shift this sentence somewhere else. There was power outage. Okay, the electric supply went off, right? This is a power cut. It frightened my daughter even more. Does this mean she was already very frightened? Okay, we managed to pick up the clothes and close the windows. Now the clothes, which clothes? Again, I have made some mistake here, right? The use of definite articles here. Which clothes? And close the windows. At around 11 p.m. we went to sleep. I was thinking of people living in tent. Oh, I was thinking of people. So that was actually not required, right? I have capitalized P, which is not required. Okay, it's not at the beginning of a sentence. Living in tent house in slum areas. I was worried about them. Okay, now this is the first draft. What do you think? Does this piece of writing looks complete? Do you think something missing? There's no conclusion, isn't it? So a conclusion is missing, right? Conclusion missing, right? So we need to add a conclusion. And though I am narrating, right, but then since the topic is yesterday night, okay, we can still think of improving the way the piece of writer began, isn't it? So we can think about the topic itself. How about making some changes to this topic? Okay. So while revising, so I just, in a way, I chose the topic because I wanted to express or share with you how like I experienced yesterday night when there was a huge storm, right? So I couldn't express my fear, isn't it? I really wanted to express that I was really scared because see, dark and scary, but in the whole write-up, your own reader will not be able to understand that I was scared, isn't it? So that part is also missing. So like that, you need to keep on adding and making changes. Okay. So now what we are going to do is, now that we have the revised sample, let's go for editing and proofreading. Okay, so we have already revised this. So what we are going to do is, now we will do the editing part. Okay. So I'm going to quickly go through it. So it was around 10 p.m. when I, okay, instead of here, what I can do is add this. I heard strange sounds. I ran out to see. Someone was shouting. Okay, we can keep this into inverted commas, right? So shouting this. I didn't understand why. Okay. Here, what we need to think is, see, my husband was parking the scooter somewhere else. So we can keep this sentence here. I ran out to see. Okay. Here we can add this part because when I went out, what did I see? I saw my husband parking scooter somewhere else. Okay, this one we can write later. So my husband was parking the scooter. So it's not a definite article because we haven't discussed about scooter in the beginning, isn't it? So I can just write our, and maybe we can write a scooty to sound little okay, better. Maybe my husband was parking our scooty somewhere else. Why? Now the reader might be interested in knowing why. Why my husband was parking the scooty somewhere else. Now we need to add something here. Okay, here we need to make some addition. Okay, somewhere else. Okay, let me write. Somewhere else, because it was lying flat on the ground. Okay. Why? The storm was strong enough to push it, right? Because of the storm. Okay, so we can add this part. It was raining too. Okay, so this is also something that can be placed here. I ran out to see. Okay, and when I went out, I saw it was raining. Not just storm, but it was raining. So we can take this sentence somewhere here. Okay. Then there was power outage. So it frightened my daughter even more. So we managed to pick up the clothes. So which clothes? Okay, so we need to add something here. The clothes that were put outside for drying. Okay, pick up the clothes outside. Okay, you can write just that. Left for drying. We can add this and close the windows. At around, so what else is missing? We don't see the connection. There's no transition. Okay, we know about transitional words. What happened first, then. Okay, so like here I have immediately written like, because whatever idea came to my mind, I started writing. Okay, so close the windows at around 11 p.m. So there's no connection. So there's a transition word that is missing. So what we can write is finally. Okay, or you can say at the end or in the end. So here I can add a transition word. Finally, at around 11 p.m. we went to bed, or we went to sleep. And then I was thinking of, so where? Okay, on my bed. On my bed, I was thinking of, so here I have to use the lowercase p, right? Here I have written the uppercase, a capital P, which is wrong. So people living in tent house, people living in tent houses I can add, in slum areas. I was worried about them. Okay, why I was thinking about those people? Because it was very stormy, when even in our house, when we were frightened. So think about the people living in the tent house. What might have happened, isn't it? I was worried. And then what is missing? Conclusion, right? So what can we add for conclusion? I was worried about them. Okay, just one sentence I will write. Okay, to end up, it was indeed a dark and stormy night, and I was really scared. Okay. Now, the last sentence in a way serves my purpose of expressing that I was scared. Okay, not just for conclusion. It was indeed a dark and stormy night, and I was really scared. Okay, now what happens is, like Gidin Sargila already discussed with you, the writing process doesn't necessarily have to be step by step. Sometimes when you are in the midst of one step, you start thinking about the another step, right? So now what happened? As soon as I finished writing the concluding part, suddenly an idea came in my mind about my topic. Yesterday night, snow charm, right? Very boring, isn't it? So how about changing this? Because I got the idea now from here. It was indeed a dark and stormy night, and I was really scared. How about choosing this part? Okay, for our topic. So let's change our topic from yesterday night to a dark, stormy night. How does it look now? So this, if we keep it for our topic. Okay. Now, what happens is, now we have the edited part, but still we need to have some changes. Okay. So it was around 10 p.m. when I heard strange sounds. Okay. The element of kind of say a fear that to be created in reader's mind, that is also missing in a way. So we can think of adding something else in this draft. Okay. How about comparing the sound of the wind to some cries of ghost? Will that be able to kind of infuse that fear in you? So what we can do is, in order to create that fear, we can add some elements. Okay. And we can also change the way we begin the piece of writing. Yesterday was a dark night. It was around, we can begin like that. And then we will add. So I ran out to see. Okay. And then like I heard window panes breaking. We added here, right? And yes, we forgot to mention these part. Things falling, branches breaking, we didn't mention. Rest we have already written. So we can add I heard window panes and branches breaking. The wind was blowing very strong, as if some ghost came from hell to frighten us, and they were shouting. Okay. So we can add such elements in our piece of writing. Okay. And what else we need to do? Okay. So then what else we need to do is, for proofreading, we also need to take care of the grammar structure, spelling. We took care about capitalization or not. Okay. Yes, anything that else that we need to find? Okay, let's look at the next slide. Okay, so look at the slide. Proofreading checklist. Now editing part is done. Okay. So did we spell words correctly? I think I checked, and then we had the spellings almost correct. Did we use capital letters correctly? We found a mistake and then we corrected it. Have we used proper punctuation marks? Did we look at punctuation marks carefully? Let's see again. Are there any grammatical errors that need to be fixed? I think we somehow managed to do that. Okay. And did we use different sentence structure? Okay. So what is missing is, now we didn't think about the sentence structure, right? Did we think about the types of sentence we have used? Because it's very important that your write-up contains different types of sentences, not just one type. Okay. So let's see. It was around 10 p.m. when I heard strange sounds. What type of sentence? Complex sentence, right? I ran out to see. Simple sentence. Someone was shouting free Tibet. Okay, simple. I didn't understand why. Okay, simple. My husband was parking the scooter somewhere else because it was lying flat on the ground because of the storm. Compound sentence, right? And it was raining too. And then we can add, along with the storm, it was raining too. And my husband was parking. Okay, that was done. I heard window panes and branches of trees breaking. Simple. There was power outage. Now here we can add, instead of writing flat, we can write, how about all of a sudden, right? All of a sudden there was power outage. Okay, it frightened my daughter even more. Now here we can add, okay, it frightened my daughter even more, who was already very frightened. Okay, we managed to pick up the clothes and close the windows. Okay, at around finally at around, so we have put proper punctuation mark here, right? Finally, comma, at around. Yes, we missed something, isn't it here? Finally. Now since I have added finally, so we cannot write capital A here, isn't it? So we need to change it. Finally, at around 11 p.m. we went to sleep. That's why it's very important to read your text, read your writing again and again, to look for errors and fixing it. Okay, fixing them, sorry. On my bed, I was, here I can use capital because the I that stands for you, right, the personal. So, we have to write it in capital. Okay. Some students like write I in this way, which is wrong. We have to capitalize I even if it's in the middle of sentence. Okay. On my bed, I was thinking of people, we did this, living in tent houses in slum areas. I was worried about them. It was indeed a dark and stormy night and I was really scared. Compound sentence. So, keeping class 5 and 6 students level in mind, I think we have somehow managed to use a variety of sentence like simple and compound mostly, and just 1 or 2 complex sentences. Okay. Now, it looks dirty, right? No need to worry. This happens when you are drafting and editing and proofreading. You find lot of marks, isn't it? Because from there you will rewrite. Okay. Then you will start a fair piece. Okay. The revised part. Okay. Now I'm going to rub this. So, meanwhile, I am preparing for the final part. I want you to go through the written text again. Am I blocking it? Okay. So, meanwhile, I prepare for the final piece. You please go through that so that you get idea how editing was done, how it was revised. Please read very carefully, okay? I actually should have pasted this before, but then I needed this space. Okay, that's why I'm pasting it now. Okay, so now that we have, what are the things that we have followed so far? Yes, we have chosen a topic. We did pre-writing. Out of the many strategies for pre-writing, we chose one, right? We had chosen the clustering, this is the mind mapping. And then after that, what we did, after mind mapping, we got some points and then we did our first draft, right? We wrote our, we began with the first draft, and then after that what we did, we checked for like the areas which need certain like some sort of changes, isn't it? We try to edit and then we proofread, and now we are going to rewrite. Okay. Okay. Now this is our final draft in a way. Okay. So here, because of space, I have written everything here. Otherwise, what you can do is for the first draft, you just check and then you can write. After revising, you can write a second draft. Okay. So I have done the revising part, editing and proofreading, everything on the first sample draft. Okay. You can follow 2 more steps. Okay. So now, what was the topic that we decided now? We began with yesterday night and then we ended with a dark stormy night. Since it's a title, I'm going to use capital, okay? A dark stormy night, okay? And then let me, so that, okay, let's see. So I'll just straightway begin from here, okay? It was around, It was around 10 p.m. when I heard strange sounds ran out to see. And okay, I'm making certain changes means I'm joining this with the conjunction and. Okay, here I have written a separate sentence. My husband was parking, so I ran out to see and saw my husband parking. We can use our our scooty somewhere else. Why? Because, so sorry, I'm just writing very close so that the whole thing can come in this single page. Okay, somewhere else because it was lying here. Like please notice here I'm trying to use as if the scooty is a person, right? Because it was like, or I can use our poor scooty was lying flat on the ground. You can use that as well. It was lying flat on the ground because of the storm. So here we can exaggerate in a way, poor scooty. Okay, as if it is a person. Okay, poor scooty. Then what else we have to write? Yeah, and then I heard, yeah, I could hear or I heard window panes. Do you know what window panes means? It's class 5 and 6 students. You know, the glass that is fitted in the frame of a window. Okay, they are called window panes. Okay, the glass. I could hear window panes breaking along with the, because we missed adding the branches of tree. Okay, so I'm adding here along with the branches of the trees. Okay, and then what else did we write? It was raining too. Okay, it was raining too. Okay, all of a sudden, so here I would have chosen to write and add another paragraph. Okay, all of a sudden there was, all of a sudden there was power outage. Okay, it frightened my daughter even more. Okay, so I will add which frightened my daughter even more. That means she was already frightened. Okay. Now, like I told you, I'm going to add some elements to create the fear, right, that we missed. The sound of the wind blowing was like the cries of who came from hell to frighten us. Okay, this element I just added. We managed to pick up our clothes and close the windows. Okay, I don't think we will be able. Okay. We managed to pick up the clothes where? Okay. Outside. Clothes left for drying. Okay, clothes outside. Left for drying. Okay. And close. Okay, so there has to be a space here. Okay, so and close the windows. Okay. Finally, at around 11 p.m. we went to bed, or we went to sleep. Bed. I was thinking, okay, in my bed. Okay, I'll write this over here. Okay, I'm sorry. So the concluding part of this one, I'm using this space. Okay, I'm not going to waste time by putting one more paper. Finally, at around 11 p.m. we went to bed. In my bed, I was thinking of people living in tent houses in slum areas. I was worried about them. Okay, and then the final conclusion, concluding sentence. Okay. It was indeed, okay, I should have indented this. It should be written somewhere here. Okay, it was indeed a dark and stormy night, and I was really scared. Okay, so this is the final, though it's quite messy over here but I think you can get the idea. Okay, so this is the topic now. Okay, our topic for the write-up is a dark stormy night. So it's 50 minutes. Okay, so hooray, so look at the slide. So you can write it in FAIR again. Okay, and then the publishing part is sharing it. So you can share it aloud by reading to your friends or family, or share in writing. Okay, you write it in FAIR and then you share. So this was just an idea, okay, of how you can apply the writing process in actually writing. And I hope you will definitely follow this process. So I think I have taken 5 minutes extra. Okay, so I'm sorry for that, and thank you for bearing with us. And Din Tharkila will take his next session in a couple of minutes. Thank you.